So I want to just prove the point here, and that if your audience by nature is communal, not only are they communal, but they're constantly looking for something, they love voyeuring and watching the world unfold, and lastly, they claim that they're on the inside, and you, by nature, the purveyor of the product, are egocentric. Our businesses are trying to build awareness. Our ego is mixed into that sequence. This is your consumer. This is your brand. Social media is the tool. It is the most powerful tool you have ever had to communicate your story globally for the first time in history, right? So a couple points. There are three sort of primary ingredients in success in social media. The first is you have to respect the power of the network. Two, you have to know that we love a good referral. Reference influence is how business is done. That is why we always ask a friend, hey, do you know a PR guy? Right? I need a dentist. Who do you recommend? And then lastly here is that once you have delivered your promise consistently over time, you own the word trust, and that trust equity is reinforced through social media. And let me quickly show you how. So you remember the bulletin board that I was talking about earlier. I know all of you want to be in a band, so we're going to start a band together, all right? And here I am. I'm Pink Dude right here, and I want to start a band. And so what do? I put up a little note on the, quote, bulletin board. And 3 people say, oh, I play bass, I play drums, I'm a guitarist, let's do this. Let's start a band. And the problem with us just starting a band is no one's going to show up, even though I'm awesome. Okay? No one's going to show up until we ask our network to join us, right? So let's say we each bring 5 people. See my 4. I'm not that cool. I only got 4, all right? What happens is if we deliver our promise, if we put on a, quote, good show, we manufacture a good product through the beta stage, that network grows exponentially through the power of those connections. And eventually, everyone doesn't even know why they're at the party. All they know is that that's where they want to be. They want to, quote, follow the band, if you will. This is the power of the network. Do not deny its influence in your business, and understand that social media is the tool to get there, all right? Next, we love and trust references. We want people to help us make good decisions. I'm going to use the analogy of dating because we've all tried it. I couldn't say we all succeeded, but we've tried it, right? So in the realm of dating, if I am an individual looking for a mate, I tell my connections, if you will, and I tell them that I'm looking for an orange lady. There happens to be one orange lady in my direct network, okay? The problem is she doesn't know who I am, and she knows that this guy's in my band with me. So he's biased, right? So what does she do? She asks all of her reference opportunities, and eventually, through 3 degrees of separation, she luckily thinks that I was a good guy. All right? Somebody, 4 degrees of separation I dated in high school, thinks that I was a good guy. What does she do? She sends that message back through the reference network, and eventually, Orange Girl is ready. She's ready to pursue me because I'm pre-qualified, friends. I just walk on over, and we're good to go. All right? Now, I know that this is sarcastic because I'm talking about dating, but this is in fact how business is done, is that someone says, I know someone who's perfect for you as an attorney. You ask your network, have you heard of this attorney? And if the message comes back strong, you have hired that person without seeing an ad, a brochure, or checking out their website. Social media is the device to do this in seconds. In seconds. We were talking earlier outside about LinkedIn, which again is the business tool for professionals in social media. I can attribute in 3 years of business $1 million in business to our firm just through the power of reference through social media. $1 million without placing a single ad in 3 years? I think that's good business, don't you? All right, the last piece here that I want to talk about is trust equity. And trust equity is when I make a promise and I've kept it consistently, my fans, my believers will relay it uninterrupted. They will not interpret, they will not change the context, they will tell the story as I created it. This is where Twitter comes into play, people. Once I have told my story and everyone wants to hear it, they will send it off to their friends, and I will have a community of people listening to me that I have never met. All right? So I set up a Twitter account, let's say 9 months ago. 650 people get a 140-character phrase whenever I feel like it. Most of them I've never met. They've only heard of me through a greater network. Imagine your business and the people that want to pay attention. If 10,000 people were listening every single time you had something to say, Could you control their perception of the category? I absolutely think that you could. So in closing here, you need to know why social media is important for you to participate in, okay? You start at the know stage. I'm learning things, and eventually, done well, and then you will be in the know. You will make better decisions because of what you have learned. So to start, just acknowledge that you can learn a lot about your market by swimming through the community of people who exist within it. I call it market familiarity. Imagine starting a business tomorrow. You've got a great idea, but you know nothing about the sector. Social media is the place to learn about the sector. Add to that you now have the power to study the actions of your competition for free without leaving your desk. You know what they're saying to every single customer, and you know how those customers are responding. Add to that mix, now you know the customer well enough that you don't even launch your product, you don't even write copy until you understand that consumer so well that when they hear your message, they've been waiting for it. All right? Now we can cross the threshold. Now we can have a little indirect consumer relationship. I can post things to communities, the biotech community, the bioscience community, and see how those people react to those concepts. Eventually, done well, if my brand is strong in social media, now I can create a direct relationship with those consumers. I can find the scientists, the physicians, the decision makers at those facilities. I can interact with them directly because I have found them through social media. And to exemplify this, I'm a professor at USC. I teach a graduate course in brand strategy. One of my student groups, did a presentation on the rebranding LAX. Through social media and 2 degrees of separation, I found the second most powerful person in the entire LAX business, and he gladly accepted the presentation for my students. That was nothing. I mean, they're grad students, they're trying their best. Imagine if you knocked on their door through the power of the network, right? Moving up the spectrum to almost to the end, when you have a community of consumers, consumers really do not like leaving a group. And that's the nature of every single organization on this planet. We create groups because people tend to stick it out when the group makes a mistake. Every single brand has an army of consumers. Why? Because when they make a mistake, when Apple charges us $600 for the iPhone first week and $400 the third week, we don't abandon ship. We just stick it out. Why? Because we're a part of a community of Apple enthusiasts, right? Eventually, you get to the point where consumers will advocate on your behalf. They will stand up in front of their colleagues and say, you really, really, really should invest in this company. Buy a BlackBerry. Use these products without paying them a dime. That's the power of a community, especially when they're advocates. And lastly, maybe you can get to the point where you're so informed, you know so much about the market, you can monetize that community. What you need to recognize here, everybody, is that everything that I decided, everything that we claimed here, the 7 stages before the 8th, this is only about better business and great customer service, which all of us as consumers would kill for. Social media is the most powerful tool in the world to deliver better business and stronger customer service. So in closing, and we'll join the panel, remember that in everything that you're doing, you are trying to own share of mind. And the problem I have with share of mind is I don't like the word share. My first objective is to simply be in mind. My second objective is to be top of mind. And done well, if I deliver my promise consistently over time, my network is proud to refer within that concept, I will be the only one in mind. And that's when business is good, friends. When I'm the only one you think of. And social media is the tool to keep you top of mind every single day so every other competitor is forgotten. All right? So with that, thank you so much.
Thank you.